Hello, today I want to show you another SW-R and PowerMeter by SURECOM, the SW-112 VU. Note that this meter does not require electricity to be used. Now let's look at the meter itself. On the back side, you can check out the model name, frequency range, and max power. For the frequency range, this meter can be used for transmissions from 125 to 525 MHz. For the max power, this meter can measure up to 120 watts. Below you will find three sockets. The small socket on the left is a power socket for the lighting on the indicator needle, compatible with power supplies within the range of 5 to 12 volts. The ANT socket is for antennas, and the TX socket is for transmitters. Now, for the front side, the M lock switch is basically an on and off switch. Please only turn on the meter when it is in use. When the meter is not in use, it is important to lock the meter. On the right side, you can see a calibration knob, which is used for the SW-R measurement. Moving on to the switches at the bottom, the switch on the right that is labeled 12 watt and 120 watt is the power range switch. In the middle, we have the power and SW-R switch. As indicated by the arrows, when it is switched to watt, you can use the switch on the left to choose between forward power and reverse power mode. When it's switched to SW-R, you can use the switch on the left to choose between SW-R and cal mode. For the display, there are three sets of numbers. The top two indicates the power readings, the upper row being the 120 watts and the lower row being 12 watts. The third set of number is the SW-R reading, which comes with two colored zones. The green zone indicates that the SW-R is within an acceptable range, and the red zone indicates poor acceptability. Let's give this meter a test. We'll first test out the power measurement of this meter. For this, we are using a transmitter and a dummy load, plugging them into the sockets accordingly. The transmitter in the TX socket and the dummy load in the ANT socket. Make sure that the transmitting power is within the dummy load's power range, otherwise it will fry the dummy load. We'll first set the power range of the meter to 120 watts. Then we switch the mode to watt. And since we're testing the power of a transmitter, we will set it to measure the forward power. Begin transmission, and the indicator needle will point towards the measurement. Having a frequency of 145 MHz, the power is indicated to be around 10 watts. Switching the power range to 12 watts, the power output is also around 10 watts. Moving on, let's test the SW-R measurement. First, we insert the antenna into the ANT socket of the meter. Then we set the middle switch to SW-R and set the left switch to cal. Hold the transmission and twist the cal knob until we put the indicator needle at the end of the red zone.
呢個位置，而家 cal 就係呢個位置。
Then set the left switch back to SW-R mode, and we can start measuring the SW-R. Begin transmission, and we can see that the SW-R is on the red zone of the meter, meaning that this antenna is not compatible with the transmitter that I'm using. So let me change the antenna very quickly. Now, after changing the antenna, let's redo the entire process. Switch the meter back to cal mode. Twist the cal knob while holding transmission until we put the needle around the end of the red zone. Switch it back to SW-R mode and we can begin transmission. Now, as we can see, the needle has only entered the red zone slightly. Not exactly good, but it is still better than the last antenna. Either way, if the needle lands on the green zone, the closer to 1, the more compatible the antenna is to the transmitter. Vice versa, if the needle lands on the red zone from 3 to infinite, the compatibility is either bad or not compatible at all. That will be the end of this showcase. Thank you for watching.